Hello everyone. This is Starry Ari's ASMR. I am Ari, and today I would like to finish going through my little makeup drawer here. So I have previously done videos with these top two drawers, and today I want to finish off my last drawer here. And I was pretty excited by how much I got rid of in this drawer, even though it does still look, I think, quite full. But there's definitely lots of space compared to what it was before. This top drawer I did not get rid of a whole lot, so this one is still quite full, but as I've said before, I am a sucker for primers and complexion products, so that was a tough drawer for me. But this bottom drawer here has a lot of powders and blushes, contour products, lots of things that I think I will be able to declutter, things that I have had for many, many years and, you know, maybe got good use out of at one point and just don't use anymore, and I should really get rid of it because it might not be safe to put on my face any longer. So let's go ahead and get started by looking through this bottom drawer. So this drawer, I am quite hopeful that I can get rid of quite a few of these things because, like I said, I've had some of these for way too long and they might not be safe to be used on my face anymore. So I would like to go through them and also maybe see if there are any products that are newer that maybe my mom would want, or any of my friends that have different skin tones. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna start, I think, with these contour sticks. So this first one is by AOA Studio, and this is in their Pawpaw line, and so this is the Pawpaw contour stick in the shade Nude. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give this a swatch. I don't really use contour sticks very often. I tend to prefer powders, but that one is very similar to the powder shade that I usually like to use to contour with, and that does blend out quite nicely. And I have actually used this for certain Halloween makeup looks. If I was really trying to make my cheeks look very hollow or something, I have used this and then did powder on top. So I do like this shade for me. I like that it is cool toned because so many contour shades are not, and they're basically bronzers and they just do not work for my skin tone. So I do actually really like this shade. So I think I'm going to keep this one. Also because that one is quite a bit newer. This one here is also by AOA Studio, but I think this was an older version of their contour sticks. And this one is in the shade Fawn. Let me do a swatch of this one. Oh, that one actually feels, I think, quite a bit softer. But it blends out a little bit warmer. And I think that's not quite the right shade for me. I think that's a little bit too warm. I like the cool tone of the other one, so I am going to get rid of this one. I'm going to take my makeup wipe here and just wipe off the back of my hand. And wipe off my fingers. do this one here. This is another AOA Studio product. I think if you've seen my other two videos doing this makeup kind of declutter / show and tell, I have so many AOA Studio or Shop Miss A products because I really do like them. And this is a loose powder that is unopened, and this is my typical go-to setting powder. And so this is just an extra backup, and this is in their matte translucent variety. And I definitely want to keep this because, like I said, I definitely, that's my general go-to. And this one is also another unopened one. So I have two backups because for some reason I guess I'm really worried about them discontinuing it, or I don't know why I have two, but both of these are unopened, so I am gonna keep both. Alright, let's take a look up here. This is an e.l.f. blush in the shade Always Cheeky, I think. Yeah, I think that's what it says. And this is a kind of, it's like an apricot color, so it is very much not my typical go-to blush shade. Let's blend this out on my hand. It is a very, very pretty, like, summer blush. It is matte, so it doesn't have any shimmer or anything, so it's just color. And I have had this for a while, and I honestly never gravitate towards it. So I do think I am going to get rid of it, maybe see if my mom wants to like spray some alcohol on it and use it for herself. But I do have other blushes in my regular makeup like drawers that I do use. Like I have a few different blush shades, and this one is just not one that I ever really gravitate towards, so I am gonna get rid of it. This one here is another AOA Studio product. This is their Perfect Finishing Pressed Powder. I think I had gotten these powders to see if I might be able to use them as contour powders. This one is in the shade Nude, and I now have a really nice contour product that I like a lot, and it's by, I think, LA Colors or LA Girl, I don't remember, but it is a like taupey blush basically, and I use it as a contour powder, and I really like it. This one right off the bat is too dark for me to use as an actual pressed powder. It does not really fit my skin tone very well, but it's not the right shade for a contour either, so I don't really have anything that I would use this product for, so I am going to get rid of this one. This one here is also that same AOA Studio Perfect Finishing Pressed Powder, but this one is in the shade Almond. This one is getting closer to a contour shade, but it is still a little bit warm and light for a contour. So it's, yeah, that one's pretty orangey on me, which is usually my problem with contour products. But again, this isn't meant to be a contour product, it's meant to be like a finishing pressed powder. But this is where I get in trouble with the AOA Studio Shop Miss A products, because they are so cheap and they don't have like brick and mortar stores everywhere. I think they only have stores like in Texas, and I think they might have one in California somewhere, but they don't have any near me. So I order their products online, and so I don't really have like samples or things that I can look at in person. So if there's something that I'm kind of iffy on. Usually I'll just go for it and get 2 different shades and see if one of them works for me. But sadly, neither of these are really good products for me, so I'm going to get rid of this one too. Okay. Oh no, this one looks like it got a bit crumbled. This one looks okay. This one is by ColourPop, and it is, let's see, I think it's a highlighter in the shade Lunch Money. It says Super Shock Cheek Pearlized. And let's open this up and take a look. I thought that these might have been eyeshadows, but that is a very pretty shade. Oh my gosh, that is so soft. That is like crazy soft. Wow, look at that. That is so smooth and pretty. I've often heard really good things about ColourPop, and I think I got these in an Ipsy bag. And I think that I've just swatched them and I hadn't really used them, but that blends out so beautifully. That is a gorgeous highlight, and I apologize again for my lighting, that you are not really seeing much of anything at all. But that is really, really pretty, and I am a sucker for a highlighter, so I am going to keep this one. This one looks like it's meant to be another highlighter, but it's very bronzy, so I'm wondering if these can also just be eyeshadows. This one is in the shade Might Be, but it's also the Super Shock Cheek Pearlized. I am kind of scared to open this one because it looks like it broke everywhere. And honestly, this might be a gorgeous, gorgeous eyeshadow, but I have so many eyeshadows, and this is definitely too dark for me for a highlight. And with it being broken, I imagine this would just be a mess, and I would be worried if I was regularly using this in my makeup bag on the go. I'd be worried about it spilling everywhere. So I am sadly going to get rid of this one without swatching it. This one is a very, very bright pink highlight, and I think the brand is DLS or DIS. I'm not sure exactly. It says Baked Highlight, and this is in the shade Bellini, the Baked Highlighter, and it's just like a very, very bright pink. I don't really stray very often from my kind of champagne-y type highlights. Let's see. Oh, that one is very fun, but I don't think I'm ever really going to use it, and I have had it for a long time, and I don't think I would really use that for an eyeshadow. I don't think it's pigmented enough for me to want to use as an eyeshadow, so I think I am going to get rid of this one. This is by The Balm, and it's the Auto Balm Girl Powder, and this is in the shade, let's see, doesn't look like it has a shade, so let's open it up and take a look. And this looks like it's maybe in the shade Houston Street. I don't know if that's the different shades, but this almost looks like a blush, and it is a very pretty, kind of very like neutrally pink. It's a little bit lighter than I would typically go for, but I do like the shade on me. I think that's a very pretty shade that I feel like matches my skin tone a little bit better than that e.l.f. blush, but it is kind of that like brighter color. and it's a lot smaller than the e.l.f. blush, so I do think I will keep this one and just have it for those days when I'm not really feeling my typical mauve blush, because that is usually my go-to. Alright, I have some baked highlighters here by AOA Studio. This is their Wonder Baked Highlighter. This one is in the shade Cream Puff. Definitely gotta do swatches. Oh my gosh, that feels really, really rough. I am always kind of iffy about baked products. They were really big for a while. And like, yeah, that one's pretty. But I feel like I needed to swatch that pretty heavy-handed to get like barely a shimmer on it. So these ones I have had for quite a while. So they might also just be like dried up even more than their just original baked formula. So sadly I am gonna get rid of this one. Here's another baked highlighter, and this one is actually more gold than my typical highlighter shade. I think this would be very obvious on me. And this one's in the shade Snap. Let's do another swatch. That one feels a little bit softer than the other one. And I do remember, like, in college I used the other one, so it has been a long time. That's another, you know, it is pretty, but it's not quite my highlight shade. And, like, I've just had these ones for so long that I just don't think that I need them anymore. I definitely don't reach for them. This is another baked highlighter, but this one is by e.l.f. And let's see, this one I think is called Moonlight Pearls. It's a little hard to tell, but I think that's what that says. It's definitely a very pretty shade, but it has that really, really rough, like hard feeling that baked products have. And it is pretty. I do feel like it is giving me a bit more than the AOA Studios ones, but I feel like it's not giving me enough. Like, I don't really want to have to build up my products like a ton. So I think this is another one that I think I've had this one since high school even. So it is definitely long past its like recommended date, I am sure, but I am very like lenient about those for myself. This one I think can go. This one is by Ciate London. I think that's how you say that. And it is in the shade Pinch Me. I think this one might be a highlight. Whoa. Oh, I forgot about this one. So this one I definitely got in an Ipsy bag. And it's like got all of those swirls of like pink and gold. I'm wondering if this is meant to be like a highlight blush type of topper. Or even just a highlight maybe. Do a pretty good swatch there. And you can't really tell anything in the camera. But that is super cool. It's very, very like glowy, but not sparkly like I thought that it would be. And it's very pretty. I think that I might keep this one and play around with it because it's very fun and the look of it is also just really, really neat. And it's very small. This one is by INT Cosmetics, and it is a loose pan, and it's an eyeshadow in the name, or in the shade Goddess Gold. It definitely looks like just a gorgeous, like chunky gold eyeshadow. So I'm gonna do a good swatch of that. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Wow, that was so smooth. Okay, I feel like I have got to keep that one. That one had so much color payoff. Yeah, that one is so pretty, and I don't know why the heck I haven't been using it. But now I remember that I have it. So, and I do have magnetic palettes that I use, so I could definitely pop this in one of my kind of everyday magnetic palettes and swap it out with something else. It is also a very large eyeshadow pan, I feel like, but that's great for such a beautiful shade. Okay, I have two pressed powders here, both by Maybelline. This one is in the shade Classic Ivory, it's shade 120, and this is in Set and Smooth finish, so this is for normal to dry skin. And I don't really use pressed powder much anymore because I have very dry skin and I have learned that. But I got these, I mean, when I was like first playing with makeup in high school, and I do remember them being really good powders, but I just do not need them really anymore. And I feel like since I've had them so long, I feel like that's a little ridiculous for me to keep them. And this one is in the matte and poreless line or finish, and so this one was even more mattifying, so I don't know what I was doing because I've had dry skin like my whole life. So I don't know what I was doing with matte and poreless stuff. But I even used the Fit Me like matte and poreless foundation like in high school, and that's what I wore when I was like a cheerleader, and I feel like it held up really well. So I don't know, maybe I did know something about it. But these products I have had for 10 plus years and are probably to the point where it's like, are they safe to put on my face? Who knows? Maybe. Is it worth that risk? I don't think so. Let's do this little quad. This is a little eyeshadow quad by AOA Studio, their Pawpaw line. And this one is in the shade Brandy, or I guess in the like the style Brandy. And it's a very like warm, like fun. It kind of reminds me of fall. There's this like 3 matte shades here, and then one very pretty gold here. I have quite a lot of little like eyeshadow quads and things like this, and I really like them for travel. So if I'm traveling for a specific event and I have an idea for like if I already have my dress and everything and I have an idea for what makeup I want to do, I can just grab one of these little quads, and it's just really convenient for, you know, not having to bring a ton of eyeshadows. And I do like the AOA Studio eyeshadow, so I do think I'm going to keep this one. I like the warmer colors. I don't really gravitate towards warmer colors a ton, but I think that it's good to like have some available in my stash just in case. Okay, here is a loose finishing powder by the Maybelline Fit Me line. So I'm telling you, I feel like the Fit Me line was like my go-to in high school and the beginning of college. This one is in the Fairlight shade 10. And this is another one that I have had for so long that I do not think it is smart for me to try and put it on my face. But I do really like the packaging of this. I mean, it's huge, right? But but it definitely reminds me of like classic makeup. Like I feel like this looks like the packaging that I saw my mom use, you know, when I was growing up watching her do her makeup. But I do think I've just had this for far too long. Again, I don't really use these powder products very much. I usually like the translucent ones. So I am going to get rid of this one too. Okay, let's take a look at this ginormous highlighter. This one is by Amuse Cosmetics, and this is a brand that I've only ever seen on shopmissay.com. So I'm sure they are sold elsewhere, but I've only ever seen them there. And they also, this one has dog fur on it. This one is Illuminate Pro in the shade, it just looks like Mix 1 light. And this is just a ginormous product. And it even has a little brush and a little mirror. It's like a full compact for a highlighter. Let's do a swatch. Oh, wow. Oh, that is such a gorgeous, like, pearly shade. And it's a little bit lighter than a lot of the ones that I do have. And that is just so beautiful, and it blended out so nicely. And I feel like I have to keep it. It's ginormous, so I feel like I would have this until the end of my days. But I definitely want to keep it and try and remember that I have it and use it a little bit more, because that was just gorgeous. Here is a Prisma blush in the shade Plum Pink. That is a bright, bright pink. And that is like not a shade I would ever typically reach for. But I'm going to swatch it. That does kind of come off a little bit of a different color. That is like very, very bright pink. I do kind of like it, even though that is like not my blush shade at all that I reach for. I'm thinking it might be good to have kind of a bright pink like that for any, you know, specific Halloween looks or anything like that. It's just kind of fun to have options. I think I am going to keep this one. Is a contour product, I believe, and this is by Gigi Gorgeous, and it's in the shade, well, I think it's the Sick Sculpt Turnt, and that is what it looks like. It is a very, very lovely, like cool toned contour, and that is not really showing up much at all. I'm gonna try it on my hand. Okay, it looks so cool toned, but then when I blend it out, it's like blending out orange. Let me try it on my other hand and make sure that the like makeup wipe isn't impacting that. That one I don't see at all on my hand. This product I have had for a long time because I got it from Ipsy. Yeah, I don't see that product on my hand very much whatsoever. So that is a product that might have been a really good product, and it's just been so long that it's just, you know, dried out and it's just not effective anymore. But either way, I think that I can safely get rid of this one. We only have 3 more products. This is by Clean Color, and I think this is one of their Spotlight blushes. Where's Clean Color Spotlight? The brand, I don't It's the Spotlight blush. This one is in the shade Sable, I think. This one is a very like corally blush shade, if I can get it open. And it has a little compact space where I don't know if maybe a brush or something was there and it's just not there anymore. But that's what that looks like. And a swatch of it, it is very, very orangey coral. And it does actually blend out really, really pretty. And I don't know what it is about this shade that I'm kind of liking more than like any other orangey blush I've seen. I don't know why I am really liking that. And it's not really one that I think I would typically reach for, but it is different enough than the shades that I've kept that I think that I am going to keep this one too. Which is really surprising because I was definitely initially thinking I was just going to get rid of this one. So that's a pleasant surprise. Alright, Shades by Shan. And this is in the shade Latte. So I'm wondering if this is a contour. Oh, that does look like a contour. And it looks very orange. So let's see how that comes off. That actually didn't look too bad on my finger. Whoa. Okay, that is pigmented, and I think I picked up way more than I needed. Okay, so it is kind of like a contour. And I mean, it kind of blends out okay, but it is very, very orange. So it feels like it might be a nice product, but it is not a good shade for me. I don't know what it is. I am very picky about my contour shades, and this is just kind of not doing it for me. So it's too bad. It feels really like a nice product, but just not quite the right shade. There's one more product here, and this is by Complex Culture. It is the Good Glow Blush. Alright, and then I think the product shade is Glow Rush. So let's take a look at this one. Wow, that is so pretty. And it is very, very pink, but it's got that kind of like mix, almost like the Ciate one, where I feel like it's like pink with gold shimmer almost. I don't think you can see that. But this one is light. I'm going to actually swatch these ones side by side, because if they are similar enough, I probably don't need to get or keep both. They are kind of similar. Let's see. This one is there. Okay, so the Ciate one is definitely lighter. It's very much a lighter pink. Whereas this one is a little bit more of an obvious pink. I would even say the Ciate one's like a blush, like highlighter topper. And this one is pretty, but I don't really see myself reaching for it maybe as much as I would for this one as like a blush topper. So I don't think I need to keep both of them, even though they do kind of, you know, they're doing different things. But I think I will keep this Ciate one, and I will get rid of this Complex Culture one, even though it is very pretty. I might see if my mom would like this one. Okay, and that is this drawer all complete. So I'm going to take my makeup wipe and just give the drawer a good wipe. now all nice and cleaned out, and I can put some products back in here. So these are all the products that we are keeping, and I think that I did a very good job at decluttering this particular drawer, which is kind of how I thought it would go. I thought that I would be able to get rid of a lot in here, and I definitely did that. So I have my 2 AOA Studio setting powder. I kind of want to see if I can put this in the back, because those are kind of like my backups. And can that one fit there? And I have my little eyeshadow wand. And this beautiful eyeshadow here. And the Ciate blush. And the little Auto Balm blush by the Balm. And then my contour stick. Alright, so look at all of that space that I just cleared out of this drawer. So that is very exciting because I do have quite a few products that are just kind of in my bathroom closet that maybe I like reach for, you know, more frequently than I did for like any of the products in here typically. And so I would just have them like on the shelf rather than in the drawer. Also because I didn't really have space in here. And now I think I can actually put all of those products in my drawers. So that is very exciting. And this is my tote of everything that I want to get rid of. So now I need to go back through this and pull out the things that I just need to throw away, or the things that I want to offer and see if anyone would like them. But I do think a lot of these products need to just be thrown away because they are just, I think, too old. But I feel like I did a pretty good job of decluttering. It is sad that I had this much to declutter, but this is why I'm trying to be a lot more intentional about what I buy. And I wanted to do this to go back through my collection and see what I can maybe use a little bit more frequently and just like remind myself of the things that I had available. There we go. So my little makeup drawer here is decluttered. I still have, I think, way more makeup than I need, but I think that this is a little bit more reflective of what I might actually use, and it's a little bit cleaner as I got rid of a lot of products that were just, you know, too old. Things that I've had for far too long. And I'm excited about the space that I made in here so that I can actually put my remaining products that I don't use every day, but that maybe I do reach for every now and then. I can put those in here now. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and hanging out with me as I did a little show and tell and decluttering. Thank you so much for watching.